Good evening, everyone. It looks like the stream has gone live. So I'm going to go ahead and call the April 9th board meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. In order to help streamline our attendance process, we did create a Google form. You can find it in the description of the video. Please fill out this form if you would like your attendance for this meeting to be tracked. Also put a greeting in the chat so that we can see your participation in the live stream. And then just so you all know, there is a little bit of a lag between us talking and what you guys see. We do try to minimize that lag, but it does happen. So if we don't respond to a question right away, that's because of the lag. We do have an agenda that we follow for our board meetings. I'm going to go ahead and put the link to the agenda in the chat if anyone would like to follow along. It is on the Anime Twin Cities website at animetwincities.org/board/agenda. We are going to ask everyone tonight that everyone be respectful of those in the chat and on the board. Bullying remarks will not be tolerated. We're going to go ahead and start off with reporting our off-cycle board actions and then go into our open session. Generally, the open sessions are limited to 30 minutes. However, we are willing to extend it to 1 hour if we do have a lot of questions, so we exceed our 30-minute time frame. And let's see, we do request that you don't ask the same question repeatedly if you don't like the answer or we can't give specific details. We want to get through as many people's questions as possible. So before we go to the open session, I just want to recap the off-cycle actions real quick. We did receive a request to review the ban list from someone that is on the ban list. And so far, the actions that we have taken is to go to the Anime Detour storage locker and grab all of our paperwork and get it scanned into our shared drive on Google so we can all access that paperwork. And as of this time, we are still just waiting research from the Anime Detour executive team. We just reached out to them for their assistance, so we just need some time for them to get back to us. Okay, and then the other big thing that we did was we did have to suspend 2 members from their positions on staff and the board until the third-party investigation has been concluded. I believe that is why most of you are here. It is involving Christian Loth and Troy McDonald. And so our legal counsel for Anime Twin Cities, his name is Brian A. Gravely, and he works at Halverson Legal. We did set up an email address that will go directly to him. We will not see these emails. So if you have any, outside of like what we go through at the board tonight, if you have any questions, complaints, or feedback that you wish to direct to him, the email address is legal@animetwincities.org. Only use that email address. It's the only way that he has approved communication from our organization outside of the members of the board. And so then that is recapping our off-cycle actions. So now we can go ahead and start our open session. Let's see. We would like to, so we'll give it a couple of minutes for questions to pop in because, like I said earlier, there is a lag. Okay, so it looks like the first question I am seeing is how was the suspension approved? Basically, we did hold an emergency meeting last night on at the advice of our legal representation to go over our documentation and voted to approve the suspension. And I thought I saw another question pop up after that, but it is not showing up on my screen right now. Okay, so emergency meeting votes need to be ratified at an official board meeting per the bylaws. I guess I thought talking about them was good enough. Perhaps I was incorrect. Is anyone else?
Actually, to disregard that, special meetings may be called by an executive officer, which is the president. These meetings may only be
Right.
called in response to issues that affect the functionality of the ATC, which in this regards, per our legal representation, took care of that problem. So at the next regular board meeting, which we have done, the actions of the special meeting shall be ratified by the board. I motion to approve special session that was held on Monday, April 8th.
I second.
Okay, then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So those actions have been approved. That is now a moot point.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, this is going really fast. Okay, so goodness gracious. We cannot give the reasons for suspension as this is an active investigation and we do not want to hinder or affect the process. Oh my gosh. How do you keep up with these? Let's see.
Brittany, I would hold your chats any further or else you will be censored.
I couldn't hear the second half of that, Bruce.
What did you say?
I said I would check your actions in chat since you are still an acting representative of the organization.
I can post, like, I'm still allowed to, like, put personal opinions, like, when they're not included as a representative of the org. I can, like, literally post and still say, like, I'm not acting as a representative, that I'm acting as, like, a member of the org. I don't lose, like, the rights as a member.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we had quorum for the meeting yesterday. It was myself, Nick, Allie, Alyssa, Chelsea, and Bruce. So we did have quorum. It was a closed meeting. We do have minutes for it, but due to the sensitive nature included in those minutes, they will not be released to the public because it is confidential. Let's see. I do believe, I think I saw one thing pop up in regards to emails, which is something I have seen pop up again and again and again. Basically, there are emails in our EventNe system. That is the email that you used when you signed up to be staff. And all communications that have been sent through EventNe have gone out to those email addresses. I did pull a list of department heads out of EventNe, assuming those were their preferred method of contact, and sent emails directly to them, not using the EventNe system, but still from my Anime Detour email. I do not see any issues with that. I do also believe that as the president of our Anime Twin Cities parent organization, I should have access to the emails in the EventNe system, because how else am I going to be able to email staff? It's not something that the board president has to do very often, but it is something that should be available. And I've been told that the all staff distribution list has not been updated in a long time. And if that's the only thing that I'm able to use, then I can't actually reach our staff. So I believe that I should have access to EventNe, and I do not think there is any issue with me using email addresses that were provided to Anime Detour for contact for staff. Let me go back to chat to see what we have since then. All right, so let's see. Why was Kristen, a sitting board member, not involved in this discussion? The legal counsel basically advised us to hold a meeting to issue a suspension. I did not believe that including the member who was being suspended would make sense.
I don't currently see anything in the bylaws job description of the ATC president that indicates access to the contact information of staff. Can you
Okay.
find the bylaws that says that you have access to that information or permits you versus the belief of access?
Can you find something that says that I should not have access? It
It's
only
data
is
security and
logical.
personal security based on the only people who should have access are the staffing department and the executives for Anime.
As soon as you sign into it,
But the Anime Twin Cities board oversees Anime Detour staff. All Anime Detour staff are technically Anime Twin Cities staff.
That is not currently listed in your job description.
Also, in regards to the privacy policy, as soon as you input your information, it becomes public information that can be searchable via EventNe. Because you can view the personal profile for each individual person on there, their contact information searchable that way. And in retrospect,
only with the appropriate privileges given. You actually can't see all of the information unless you have the appropriate privileges allowed, and the privileges were temporarily allowed as a department head to access certain pieces of information. So the issue is that her privileges should not have been allowed to search the information that was given.
We will be initiating a policy to amend that procedure, and we'll also be utilizing an updated staff distro, which due to lack of updates by staffing department, we did not have access to. Therefore, we use the EventNe access to get a current list of current members who are the current department heads at this time to do said work, since the other one is so far out of date and no work has been done by staffing department that has been brought to our knowledge.
Okay, I am going to take this pause. I do want to address a comment that is that my mic going crazy?
I think so.
Okay. I apologize. I am not quite sure what's going on there. But I do just want to address the comment that has been made twice regarding if nothing is found actionable, will they be reinstated? Yes, if nothing is found actionable against either one or both, they would be reinstated. But if there's found, obviously, if something is found actionable, we will take the action that our legal counsel advises us to take.
Okay. Looking for more questions. Again, at this time, we cannot comment on the issues of the suspensions due to an investigation taking place. We do not want to hinder or affect the process. What about staff that were kicked out without being given reason or corrective actions per the bylaws?
Are you referring to kicked out of ATC or kicked out of detour? Because that, if you're speaking as detour staff, that is something you would need to bring up with the executive team.
Given reason or corrective action. We are allowed to hold special sessions if it is required necessary for function. There are still 3 active members of the executive team. I am seeing posts disappearing. I'm not sure why they are disappearing.
I removed someone that was being disruptive in regards to the chat. That's all.
Okay. Someone is being disruptive. I don't think they're asking questions. There are ways to explain where to go. What is happening that would not break legal counsel rules? You just need to ask the lawyer to give you something. Unfortunately, the statement that came from the lawyer was, at this time, we cannot comment on the issues of the suspensions due to investigation taking place. We do not want to hinder or affect the process. No, we cannot discuss who brought the complaint. Why did you feel the need to send emails to certain individuals, but not key individuals such as vice chairs while the convention was still happening? I sent emails after I got home. I was still riding the post-con energy that we all had, and I wasn't sure I would still have it Monday morning. And I really wanted to be able to get reviews from the department heads. I am also a department head of the merchandise team and wanted to get reviews of my peers. I was very shortly later informed that I should have emailed the vice chairs, so I emailed them as well within the hour. These meetings can, yeah. If, so Joe's question, if Troy and Kristen are permanently removed, what is the plan for replacing these key figures? They haven't been permanently removed yet. There is no plan. They're pending investigation. Let's see. If reviews are done in June per your agenda here, can you give us a layout plan, then why a review Sunday? I mean, we didn't, so, okay. On the agenda is basically a timeline for when we want to be completed with our reviews as the board. I wanted to use the department head reviews to help me write my review. In my opinion, the best time to get reviews from the department heads is right after con, while the convention is still fresh in your mind and you can remember everything. That's all. Why do you feel the need to jump to such an extreme response instead of simply opening up a line of communication with the individual suspended? Well, again, our legal counsel advised us to suspend them, so we followed the legal counsel's advice. I'm allowed to address an accusation. What happened? Why was the deadline set to less than a week for the review submissions? I felt that was plenty of time to submit a review. It was 100% optional. It wasn't something that I needed people to have to send. I just asked for their assistance helping me craft my review. Let's see. What is the plan to calmly notify NMA Twin Cities members of these decisions, as all paying attendees have the right to access the information? I believe after the investigation has been completed would be the best time to notify the Anime Twin Cities members, because then we will actually know what's happening versus just communicating a suspension that doesn't really tell anyone anything. It would probably help if people put in all caps question in front of their questions, because this chat is very difficult to keep up with.
So as far as who is investigating, it is our lawyer. We are not a part of the investigation at all. We are in fact also subject to it. We wanted a third party involved, so there was no personal emotions or feelings in this.
And someone asked, why wouldn't you send that to the department head's email? I wanted to address each email individually and include, for my knowledge, what department they were ahead of, because I can't remember what department everyone is in anymore. So it was basically so I could individually address each email. Let's see. Do I have a timeline for when the legal team will conclude their investigation? Yes. Their investigation will be concluded by our May board meeting on the 14th, and that is when we will announce the results. Question, what is being investigated? As we have stated many times, we are not able to comment on the issues of the suspensions due to the investigation taking place. We do not want to hinder or affect the process. We did state the name of the lawyer and what firm they were with at the beginning of the meeting, but it is Brian Gravely at Halverson Legal. We have set up an email address that will go directly to him. We will not see these emails. If you have any questions, complaints, or feedback that you wish to direct to him, you can email him at legal@animatwincities.org. Please only use that email address, as that is the only way he has approved this kind of communication. So timeline. The ones that under investigation will be basically submitting their side of things to the lawyer, Brian, and working through him. Let's see. Can we go back? Okay, it is going so fast. What wrongdoing? Again, we cannot address what wrongdoing it is. And can we go back to the issue with the email addresses? So when I was gathering department head names and departments, I was also getting their email addresses and just copying and pasting them. Like I said, I figured the email address in their event need is how they would want to be contacted. I now understand that a lot of people would prefer it not be that way. It was only 9 out of 27 emails that were not Anime Detour emails. The rest of them were Anime Detour emails. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Is there going to be a way to dispute what is being investigated? I mean, the investigation is being done by the third party, so I guess if you have questions on how that is done, you can reach out to him at legal@animetwincities.org. How do we know these emails will not be seen? Yes, Bruce is the one that set up the email. Yes, he could go in and access it if he chose to. He's not going to, and neither are any of us. That I don't know how else you would like us to do that, but we are not going to access that email. I don't want to see them. They don't have anything to do with me. The board spoke with legal and we were advised to have a meeting. Like he sent us an email advising us to have a meeting. Is that not a meeting with legal counsel for the whole board? No, he did not attend the meeting. He advised us to have it and advised what actions to take. If you are all subject to the investigation, why didn't you suspend yourself? Well, basically, all of the emails that we have received and sent during this period have been provided to the lawyer, and so we are also being investigated, but we have not been accused of any wrongdoing, so we are not suspended. My screen is frozen. Question. I understand this lawyer was only retained to look over contracts. That's not the case. He is on retainer to help with pretty much all legal needs as they come up. Well, yes, us as an ATC set up the email, but Bruce is the IT guy that actually pushed the buttons in the system with which to do it.
And with my background within 13 years, close to 10 plus years in IT, I know better of what to do and what not to do. If you have any further accusations or issues, you can use the legal at animetwincities.org, and if it is deemed necessary, it will be changed.
What's this question? That's not a question, so I don't know how to address that. Okay, let's see. question. Basically, the lawyer advised us to set up an email to forward to his email. So that is what we did. Can we talk about the letter? I do not know what that is referring to. Understanding that you cannot talk about the specifics, how does this issue present such a threat that it constituted a closed meeting? I am not sure how I would be able to answer that question without going into specifics. I'm sorry. I just do not know. You can review the bylaws if you would like to look in. I believe you can set up a petition for board members, but then you do submit that to the petition to the board. Oh goodness, let's see. Is this a breach of protocol or a criminal investigation? Again, I can't comment on the issues of the suspension because of the investigation taking place. I also received a call to action letter in my detour email and my personal email. I also received that call to action letter. I do not know who it came from. I did reply all to it, basically saying that I wasn't sure who this email was coming from and that they are welcome to come to the board meeting today. But I know it seems like a lot of people were blind copied on that email. So my reply all did not go to them because that's how blind copies work. The letter from yesterday. I don't know what letter we're talking about. If we're talking about the announcement of the suspension, I'm not sure. I'm
going to move to a motion that we table this at 7:15.
Well, we did say we would have an
Grace, your
expanded.
mic is cutting in and out again.
Yeah, it cut out again. We did say that we would allow for this to go on for an hour instead of just half an hour. So it's been half an hour, but it doesn't really seem like we're getting any questions we can answer. But let me just try and get caught up. Question, when did it change that board members could perform social media or IT duties? Bruce, your microphone is now very loud. Your headset is mad at you. Okay. For a long time, the board has been very short-staffed, and all board members basically work together to get everything done that we can. We do currently have a coordinator in charge of social media, being Brittany. Again, I cannot comment on to the reason of the suspension because there is an active investigation taking place. Let's see.
So I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the first name, so I'm just going to go with Sparrow. Like we stated, it would be to the lawyer. I believe it was legal at animatwincities.org. You can send it to that email with any concerns you have regarding accountability and the process for this matter.
Why isn't the board being investigated? I mean, we're being included as part of this investigation just based off of our email communications with the people that are being investigated. Sorry, I'm getting tired. I heard that bylaws had been rewritten outside of a regular board meeting. Rewriting bylaws is something that takes a long time, and it's not something that can be done during a board meeting. It is something that would be presented during a board meeting. However, I was hoping to actually have them prepared for this board meeting, but due to everything else that has gone on, we haven't been able to finish them. So we're working on that right now. I do not know how to address you guys saying that our lawyer wouldn't be impartial. I mean, they follow the law. That's what they do. And I mean, this is an investigation. Let's see. We are just hopping all over the place. My screen is. Were all board members made aware and given time to attend the special meeting excluding Kristen? Yes, with the exception of our treasurer, who doesn't generally attend meetings and hasn't been really involved in any of this discussion at all, because that is just not how they operate. We are able to meet quorum without the treasurer, so let's see. Is it proper
For
for the
Michelle Jean, is this investigation of a nature if we had less desirable manner with the chairman? Should we submit our experience? We would like you to submit your experience anyway, whether you had a good experience or a bad experience. That is, yeah, either good or bad. If you would like to submit it, please go ahead and submit it.
Okay, and I believe I'm at the bottom of the chat right now, and I don't think I'm seeing any more questions right now. But I'll
Do
give
the
it.
removed members know why they're being investigated? I don't think we've answered yet.
Okay. We have not informed them of anything besides that they were suspended pending an investigation, and that Brian, the legal counsel, will be reaching out with them to work with them on it.
Joe, the legal at animatwincities.org is the only way that the lawyer has approved of. So that is the only option that we have for any outside of the board parties to reach him.
question. So why haven't they been informed? Basically, we followed the advice of the legal counsel for the steps that we took to perform the suspension, which was emailing them, notifying that they were suspended, and putting them in contact with Brian, and then posting to the public and to the staff Discord, as well as the all staffing email list, that the suspension has taken place, the temporary suspension has taken place.
Vaughn, I will go ahead and add that email to the general chat as you've requested. We do just also ask, please keep in mind, we are not the only clients of our attorney. And if we do get responses from him stating that he is being harassed in any way, and he asks us to shut down the forwarding email, we will have to do so. So we do just ask that when you do email him, you do be respectful. Please do not spam him if he does not get back to you. Again, we are not his only clients. He obviously has a life outside of his job, so please just be patient. And just keep in mind, you may not be the only ones emailing him. But I did go ahead and add that email to the Discord.
To answer the question regarding moderation, I'm the one running the stream. I have been given permission to mute any users that are deemed as being disruptive, and that is all I am doing.
Joe, to answer your question, that is how he asked us to set it up. So we are just following what he has stated he is comfortable with. If you would like to ask him why he chose the forwarded email, please feel free to do so.
Okay, so those of you saying you didn't hear Bruce, basically he is only removing chats from people deeming to be disruptive and not helping move on this conversation with constructive questions.
Vaughn, just to kind of elaborate, we're not saying that we'll cut it off if he is stating that if we don't like the emails, we don't see them unless he deems it necessary for us to see the content of it. This is honestly just if it is getting to the point of harassment. That is the only reason we would cut it off, is if he is informing us that he is being harassed. That is it. Like I said, that guideline for Yvonne, I'm not sure if your question is as far as emails being disruptive. That would be completely up to the lawyer. If he is deeming them disruptive or if he is deeming them harassing and he is getting an overwhelming amount of harassment and asks for us to shut off the forwarding email, that is when we would do so. I do hope that answered that question. So again, he would not share who sent the email. He would only share the content if he deemed it necessary for us to look at. Otherwise, we are not going to see anything regarding the emails. As far as we feel about how we handled it, I can't speak to the as far as like the department head emails. I feel as far as we are trying to be as transparent as we can. We do know previous board iterations kept a lot of things very quiet. We wanted to be as transparent as we could be.
Yeah.
We just that's about all I've got.
I see a
We're
question.
doing our best. We're all human.
Are the current active vice chairs of Anime Detour being able to hold the future scheduled meeting on April 27th. As far as I am aware, yes. The vice chairs did mention to us how they thought they should proceed, and we did offer our assistance as board members to help them run the meeting and anything else they needed help with. I haven't heard anything back on if they want our help or not, but we did throw it out there that we're able to help if needed.
As far as t-shirts, I know there was jokes in the Discord. That's not anything that we know anything about. So I'm sorry, we can't, I have no idea.
How do you feel about how you handle the situation? Well, like I said, I still think that using the emails from EventMe is fine because that is how all other communication from the EventMe has been sent to people. But if I could change it, I would have used the Detour email addresses just because this has been a never-ending argument since it happened. But I just put them all into a spreadsheet and then copied and pasted as I was sending my emails. So
Yes, we can confirm for the record that any member of Anime Detour that opposes these measures will not face any retaliation, provided they maintain a sense of decorum. Obviously, if people start getting personal attacky and they start getting out of hand, then we will have to take measures as provided in our code of conduct. But as long as everyone is being respectful, there's going to be no retaliation. We understand that there's a lot of feelings in this. We understand that you guys may not agree, and that is fine. We accept that. We understand that. No one is going to be retaliated against.
why would any of this be public knowledge? I feel it would be very difficult to suspend the chair and a vice chair and have them stop with staff duties until the investigation was completed and then not tell anybody about it. I do not think that would be the right way to go about things. It's something that needed to be communicated, and we did it to the best of our ability.
Vaughn, yes, if you want us to send out an official email, that is something we definitely can do, that no one will be removed because of this, again, provided that they maintain decorum. Obviously, if people start to harass and bully, that is going to be a different conversation. But if you would like that sent out in an email, that is something we can definitely do. Yes, attendance in this meeting does count towards voting privileges.
Oh, goodness. Yes, Bruce?
I'd like to make a motion to close further discussion on the topic.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. We are going to go ahead and close open session and move on with the rest of the agenda.
Just before we do, I do just want to touch on the notarized statement from the lawyer. We can reach out and ask him about it. I just didn't want to leave that unanswered because I know you guys got that in right before the vote. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I just wanted to get that out there.
So the next point on the agenda is plan discussions from scheduled parties visiting. We do not have any. So the next point on the agenda would be coordinator updates. And that would be, the first one would normally be Troy, but as he has suspended, he is not here to be able to present his update. I was going to ask Brittany for an update from our communications coordinator, but she chose to leave as soon as we closed open session. So Sky, since you're here, did you want to go over the financials update? Otherwise, I can do it like I usually do.
I actually haven't gotten that information yet because me and Kim were I was actually just talking to Kim, and I actually hadn't got an email with all of that stuff yet because she was
Okay. Yeah, she sent it to us this morning, and I think you were copied on it, but don't worry about it. I can go over it, no problem.
Oh, yeah, my inbox is a mess right now. I'm trying to.
That's okay. I just was like, since you're here, I wanted to give you the opportunity.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. So basically, with the close of Anime Detour, our business checking account currently has an available balance of $392,342.28. The education fund has a balance of $3,098.06, and the community fund has a balance of $14,505.81. And Brittany did just hop back on, so I don't know if she had issue with your computer.
Yes, I apologize. If you could provide any updates as soon as you would like them posted. I've received no current content or direction from the board, probably in the last 8 months, for what would be preferred for posting or what content would like preferred to be provided, including what organizations we'd like to align with or follow. So if you guys could work on amassing a list of who we would like to follow in terms of core engagements for the ATC, other nonprofits that you guys approve of that we can work with and engage with. Since we have no one for communities or SOS, I have no other resources to provide material for. If you have updates for the current issues at hand that you would like shared publicly, please frame those for those to be meaningful, and I will post them upon request.
Thank you. Yep. When I joined the board as president 3 months ago, I did start working with Brittany to at least post the meeting to Facebook so people knew that we were having the meetings, because that had gotten left off the table for a while. But yes, we haven't directed her to really do a whole lot else besides that. So thank you for getting those meetings posted so we have attendance. And so we do have a 15-minute break on here. However, we really only have one more point to cover after that, which won't take very long. So do we want to vote to skip the break so we can just wrap up?
I'll second the motion.
Everyone in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and skip the break. And so basically, the monthly board topic that we had on the agenda for this month was to work on getting the bylaws updated to be a little bit more in line with what we need here in 2024, since they haven't been updated since 2021. But as I said earlier during open session, I have not been able to finish working on that rewrite. So we will continue to work on that and present it later. What we have coming up is we do want to work on sort of reframing some of the other coordinator positions that have been open for 4 years. I believe when I was secretary back in 2020, I posted the open positions and nothing has changed since then. So we're looking at changing them. We do have elections coming up in May. So later on this week, I will be sending an email out to people to let them know to run for the board if they would like to. And then once like all of the financials have closed out from this cycle, we'll be able to have our charities discussion to determine who we can donate to this year, try and find who's in need. Usually it's libraries, that sort of thing. And then the coordinator reviews. And with that, that is all that I have
Just
to cover.
before
Yep. I haven't been
do,
looking at the chat anymore, so please let me know.
So I know there was a question on where you could send on questions that did not get answered here too. You can either send them to ATC Board, atcboard@animetwincities.org, or again, if you do not want to ask them of us, you can send them to legal@animetwincities.org. Again, please just keep everything respectful. Please do not spam. Please just advise that if you ask for details, you will likely not get them.
Okay, and with that, I would like to call the end of the meeting, and I can never remember what the term is.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, the motion to adjourn
Second.
as of 7:26. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. As we stated, we are available by email. Please let us know if you have questions, and we will be back next month.